Hi everyone, this is Gleb Bakhmutov. I have this project called Find Cypress Specs. What it does, it goes through your specs and tells you all the suites and the tests and the tags they contain. For example, in the project itself, you can see, for example, how it reports the test names. So I'll say demo names. It finds all the Cypress specs according to Cypress JSON and then says, okay, in this file you have two tests, right? There is a suite with tag main, when there is a test, inner suite, and another test tagged user. And then it finds a second spec with two tests, and one of them is pending, but they also have tags. A user asked if the same output could be made in JSON format instead of this nice tree-like human readable output. And I think this is a very good idea because ultimately you can pipe the JSON output to any other programs to build tools on top of this. So in this example, I'll show how to implement this feature while testing it and then submitting a pull request. So the first thing you want to do, you want to pull the latest, right? Notice there are latest changes. Install the changes. You always want to base your work on the latest code. Okay. Then you want to create a new branch. JSON output is a good name because this might take a while. So you want to open a different branch while keeping the main nice and clean. Now, in this project, I already have a couple of tests, and these are end-to-end tests, right? Notice I'm using exec wrap. I'm actually calling the find script, for example, with tags on names output, and I'm comparing the result to the snapshot that Ava says here. So for example, when you call it with, tags, this is the output you get. When you call it with names, this is the output you get, and we always make sure the output stays the same. So in this case, what you want to do, I want to take this test file and copy it and say JSON, because I want to test the JSON output. Let's start with just the test names. So I'll say print test names in JSON, and what parameter, let's say JSON, right? And for now, let's plan a single assertion and we'll just say console log result, right? Because we want to see the result. We don't want to compare to anything because we don't know what it will be. Now let's run this, and I'm going to start Ava test runner in watch mode and test and the JSON file that we just created. So right now it just throws an exception because our tool doesn't know about the JSON output, right? So the code is 1, meaning an error, but the test passes because we don't fail on the code. We just get the result and don't compare to anything. So we need to add the actual JSON as a boolean, and let's give it an Alice right away. So that looks nice. Our test now passes, but it produces, of course, the text output. Now we actually have to implement the feature. All right, so if the output is the names, it just starts pending things. Okay, so let's say arg. Just printing the names is not good enough. We actually need to print the structure. Okay, why don't we create results? Okay, JSON results, and it's an object. And for each file, right, we'll just results file name. Okay, and so if we need JSON output, okay, so right now all we have is an object with each now found spec and an empty object. Okay, let me see what this result for each file is. Okay, so for each file, we actually do have all the suites and the tests and the whole structure. So we probably have to look at the structure only object. Okay, so the structure has all the tests, right? So for example, for a first file, it has a list of suites or tests. Okay, let's make this a list and push. And if it's a suite, we can still push for now. Okay, so if it's a test, we push its name. And if it's a suite, okay, let's just push the name and be done for now, right? So this is not the final implementation that we'll do, but I'll think about what the output should be later. For now, we just print every suite and the test name in a JSON format. So I think this is good enough as a first pass, right? So now we switch our test to compare result and save it. It generated a new snapshot file. Okay, so for each file, we print the test names and the suite names. We can exit, we can add the new files, and we need to run the test just to make sure we did not break anything else. And we'll say feature start JSON output. Okay, push the new branch to the GitHub. And this is issue number 10. So we're gonna open a new issue for 10. Allow with names option. For now, print. Okay, we'll create a pull request. Our CI will pass all the tests, hopefully. Okay, all the tests have passed, squash and merge, and we're gonna release it because it's the beginning of a new feature. And as we add more and more to the JSON output, we're gonna release new versions. But this is how you would implement a feature in one of my repositories by making sure you open a new branch, and then a pull request, adding tests, and then make sure that the test passed on CI.